Hi, this is Brian Kim. I'm going to share with you this case of a patient with negative dysphotopsia. The patient was originally referred to me many years ago for an unhappy cataract surgery in the right eye. And so I took that lens out and performed reverse optic capture. But really, this video is about the left eye. The left eye, I did the cataract surgery. I made the Rhexis a little bit too small, and you're going to see me struggle to achieve reverse optic capture with the LI61AO lens. And I'm going to let you see all of the messiness. But finally, I'm able to achieve it. I want to show you how I was able to finally achieve reverse optic capture of the LI61AO lens in a really small Rhexis. So this is a history. The patient had LASIK in the past and had cataract surgery in the right eye done elsewhere. Terrible negative dysphotopsia. I took that lens out and placed a star columnar lens with reverse optic capture. Patient was very happy. Uncorrected distance vision was 20/25, and this was the monovision distance eye. But now the star columnar lens is no longer available, so we plan on placing the LI61AO lens in the left eye and then targeting about a -2. This patient had uncorrected near vision 20/70 in this eye, and we'll see how we actually end up. But again, the main point of this video is really to show you how I struggled with achieving reverse optic capture of the LI61AO lens because I made too small of a Rhexis. So here is the case. I'm using the corneal marker, which will help me to center and size the Rhexis, and using the cotton tip to stabilize the eye. I make my paracentesis incision first on the right side and then the left side, making sure I'm parallel to iris plane, which creates a nice corneal shelf, which will allow me to achieve a self-sealing incision. This is intracameral epinephrine and then some dispersive viscoelastic, twisting the cannula within the incision, and this is the Orlock technique to control this eye. This is a left eye. Obviously, there's a Bell's reflex. This is the triplanar corneal incision. I make a vertical groove, place the blade into the deep part of the groove, tunnel, and then I enter. And these are the micro Rhexis forceps, the sharp tip. I puncture the center, pull down towards me, grab the right side of the tear, and go around. So this is my mistake. I was trying to be careful and not make a really big Rhexis because I wanted to achieve that reverse optic capture. And I don't think the Rhexis is that small, but obviously it's a little bit smaller than my standard Rhexis. So yeah, I guess right here at the end, I could have just gone a little bit wider on the second half of the Rhexis. So this is the capsule fornix hydrodissection technique. I place a cannula under the Rhexis edge contra-incisionally, get a wave, decompress the bag. Sweeping under the left and the right side. Irrigating the surface of the eye, lifting the incision with a chopper, go in with irrigation off to minimize Descemet's trauma, removing the surface epinuclear material, placing the chopper under the Rhexis edge contra-incisionally, just kind of sweeping side to side to loosen it up. The phaco tip vertically subincisionally, fracturing the lens in half, that's double chop. Trying to rotate the lens a little bit. Using a two-handed technique. Sliding the chopper under the Rhexis edge once again, fracturing the lens in half, grabbing the first quadrant up, crushing the lens with the chopper, and then emulsifying the lens pieces. This is not a terribly dense lens, but here I'm just using vacuum to hold the lens on the tip and then just mashing the lens with the chopper. Turning the lens again, sliding the chopper under the Rhexis edge, separating the lens pieces, performing a cross-chop maneuver around the second quadrant, lifting the lens piece up with some vacuum, crushing the lens with the chopper, and then emulsifying the lens pieces. Grabbing that fragment up with some vacuum and then emulsifying it. turning the second heminucleus in front of me, using some vacuum to help me rotate the heminucleus, placing the chopper around the lens and then crushing it with another cross-chop maneuver. Quickly emulsifying the third quadrant, performing another cross-chop maneuver around the last quadrant, grabbing the pieces with some vacuum and then crushing it with the chopper and emulsifying the lens pieces. Getting the chopper around that last fragment, lifting it up into the central safe zone, crushing the lens with the instruments, and then emulsifying the lens. So again, fairly soft lens, fairly routine so far. Sucking out the epinucleus with some vacuum. Protecting the posterior capsule with the chopper. So I take the chopper out, push BSS in, take the phaco tip out, and I go in with the INA handpiece. I always start subincisionally, grabbing the cortex from anterior to posterior, gently teasing it off. In my experience, this is the cleanest way to remove the cortex. Going around circumferentially, peeling off the cortex, anterior to posteriorly. Using foot pedal control to control the suction and then gripping of the cortical material, and then manually teasing the cortex out of the capsular bag. Again, using foot pedal control to remove the fine cortical material, switching to polish mode, polishing into the capsule fornix, polishing the posterior capsule, polishing under the Rhexis edge, pulsing BSS into the subincisional capsule fornix. You see there's some fine material that's being liberated, going after those fine wisps. Turning off infusion, filling the capsular bag with cohesive viscoelastic, polishing under the Rhexis edge with the sweeper, first on the left side and then the right side. So again, the Rhexis is rather small. Could have made it a little bit bigger. You'll see how I struggle. So this is the Easy 2.4. Again, my incision is a little bit on the small side, so I expect the lens to come out. Again, the leading haptic may point towards the posterior, we'll see. But I like to make sure it's fully inflated, and I'll do a simultaneous injection of cohesive viscoelastic as I deliver the lens. This is a push-style injector, making sure the leading haptic is in the bag. Slowly advancing, and then the optic comes right out pretty quickly. Again, it goes in very fast because the incision is 2.4 as well. And then pull the plunger back and then advance, and it catches a trailing haptic and it goes into the bag. So I get underneath the lens, removing the viscoelastic from within the bag. And in the past, I'm able to just lift the lens up and it just pops out of the bag. And that's what I'm trying to do here using a one-handed maneuver, but I'm not able to achieve it because the Rhexis is so small and it's just a little bit too tight. And so again, using a one-handed maneuver for this is not working, and it has to do with the fact that my Rhexis is a little too small. So as I'm pulling towards me, lifting and pulling, I'm not able to clear the Rhexis edge contralateral to me, the furthest away. I'm not able to get the optic up and around the Rhexis edge. So I'm just struggling a little bit here. And then I'm going to use a Lester to see if I can help myself here. I'm pushing the Rhexis edge away, but as I do that, the leading haptic pops out of the bag. So now I'm like, okay, so one of the haptics is out of the bag. I have to kind of regroup. And the way I was doing this, I was trying to keep infusion on as I was trying to tuck that haptic. It just didn't work. So I'm just going to start over. Push some more cohesive viscoelastic to fill the bag again. There's no reason to risk creating a problem. So just fill the bag all the way up. And the nice thing about the LI61AO haptics, they're very bendy. So they should be able to bend nice and easy. And as you see, I'm able to just pop it right back into the bag. And again, that's specific to the LI61AO haptics. They bend very easily. So now that I have both haptics back into the bag, this is going to be the technique. I'm going to use the Lester to grip the surface of the lens, and I'm able to pull the optic towards me. Sandwiching the optic with the forceps and the IA handpiece, and boom, I'm able to achieve the reverse optic capture. You might think, oh, you might scratch the lens. Well, there's no scratch. The Lester did a great job, and I just gently sandwiched the optic between the INA handpiece and the Lester on top, the INA handpiece underneath and the Lester on top, gripping it and then pulling the optic towards me as I lifted, and then I was able to achieve the reversed optic capture, a really nice buttonhole of the lens. The lens is now anterior to the Rhexis edge, and this negative dysphotopsia should be dramatically better for this patient. So again, this patient wanted near vision, monovision for the left eye. The distance vision in the right eye was 20/25 uncorrected, very happy. But the left eye was 20/70 uncorrected, not happy. But again, there was a cataract. Postoperatively, the uncorrected near vision improved from 20/70 to 20/40, and the manifest refraction was a -2.25 plus 75. And the patient was very happy with their vision with much less negative dysphotopsia. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I thank you for your attention.